Greetings, people of the internet. This is Scott with Serkworks Art Labs. Welcome once again to the underground laboratory where I create robots, aliens, zombies, and other imminent threats to humanity. It's October, and that can only mean one thing. Well, it can mean a couple things, I guess. A few things, maybe more things, I don't know. But one thing it does mean is Inktober, which I am going to participate in. I have my little Serkworks bag here, messenger bag, with all my inking tools. I'm going to talk a little about what I'm using. And I'm going to work on my first Inktober sketch for the year, for the month, for whatever. Anyway, let's just get to it. Alright, so it is October, which means it's Inktober, and because of that I wanted to talk a little bit about art challenges. But first I thought I'd just go in and anyone who's not familiar with Inktober, explain a little bit what it is and what I'm drawing here. So Inktober is an art challenge started by Jake Parker. It's 31 days, pretty much the month of October, and what you do is you do an ink drawing. And somebody like me, I usually use just either brush pens or brushes with dip inks or whatever, but you can use any kind of ink, anything that puts some sort of ink line on the page. That could even be a ballpoint pen. And I've seen people do amazing stuff with ballpoint pens. And but my tools, I'll kind of tell you what I'm doing here. So I guess you should say, so along with Inktober, there's also usually Jake Parker will post prompts. So if you maybe don't really know what to draw or whatever, you need some help, some inspiration, I'll put little prompts. So this prompt was fast, so I thought it'd be cool to, sometimes you'd like to take the ideas and flip them around. So it's kind of like the tortoise and the hare thing. I've seen people do stuff with a turtle that's going real fast or whatever, or something like that. But I thought, sloths are really slow. So what if you strapped a rocket to a sloth's back? So that's kind of the idea behind that. Plus, sloths are super cute and everything, and fun to draw. And I just like the whole the whole expression on his face. And of course, I probably kind of was a little inspired by the sloths from Zootopia because that scene was so hilarious. But anyway, so that's what I'm working on now. And so I'm not going to really. I didn't show the penciling just because it is Inktober, so I'm going to kind of concentrate on the inks. And the other thing is, a lot of my drawings, I'll sketch just on regular copy paper or whatever. And then with this, what I did was I just scanned it in, transferred. I think Jake Parker kind of uses this technique too. Or no, I think he draws digitally and he prints it out. Same thing, but I drew it just on a copy paper, scanned it in, and then printed it out just on blue line, and then I'm going over it with the inks and everything. But I always look forward to October, mostly, it's Halloween. I'm a big fan of Halloween. I get really into it. But I do like Inktober because I just like checking my Instagram and seeing all this cool artwork from all these people doing Inktober, and it seems like it grows every year. And it's a lot of the people that I follow that's pretty much that's what I see scroll through when I'm on Instagram. It's like Inktober sketch after Inktober sketch. And it's really cool to see, especially the people that are doing the prompts. And that's why I kind of chose to do the prompts. And like I said before, sometimes it's good for people who maybe can't, who are struggling to come up with an idea or whatever. I don't know if that's necessarily the reason why I did it. I thought of it more of an additional challenge because, how can I approach this? And it's good to kind of see how other people do certain things. And I know, sometimes you'll have a similar idea as somebody else, and that's kind of cool. Great minds think alike. And then sometimes people just come up with something totally different that you didn't think of, and that's really, really cool. So I am enjoying doing these prompts. Now, as I'm recording this, we're 3 days into it, so I've got the first 3 prompts. I'm working on sketching the other one for the 4th day. So I kind of started doing some sketches in advance. I figured it wouldn't be too much cheating if I did the sketches and then I started drawing. So actually I did a bunch of sketches in advance, and then I discovered the prompts. I'm like, well, these don't really fit into the prompts, so I really can't use them. I'll use them for something else. But it is fun, and there's I mean, there's all kinds of these challenges, but there's actually two going on right now for the month of October. There's another one called Drawloween, which is kind of a weird. It's cool. It's kind of hard to say, but it makes sense, you know. But so you can actually do the two in conjunction, because Drawloween will give you a bunch of different prompts too. But maybe you're not comfortable with inks, maybe that's not your medium, maybe you're more into pencils. You can do Drawloween and take those prompts, or you can combine the two and do the Drawloween prompts for Inktober or whatever. But it's cool because there's just all these really neat just challenges. And if you haven't taken one of these challenges, I would highly recommend it, just because there's just a lot of benefits. One of the benefits is, again, you get to participate in this thing that, if something as big as Inktober, that a lot of other people are participating in, and just that community is good because, like I said, it's cool to see what everyone else is working on. The other thing is, I think it brings a lot of attention to your work, because when you're hashtagging Inktober or Inktober 2016 or whatever, people do find that. People are searching for it because it is so big, and they will find your stuff. And through the month of October on Instagram, I usually pick up quite a bit of new followers, which is always cool. I don't know if that works as well on YouTube. I don't. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But anyway, so maybe we'll find out when I start posting these, because I am going to try to record all my Inktober drawings if I can. So at the end, I'll have like 30 drawings that I can do these little chats over and everything. So anyway, so I guess I should go back and tell you the tools that I'm using. So I've been using this Kuretake. It's a number 13. I know in the past they've said number 12. That's not true. I was a number off. It's a number 13. I don't even know if they make a number 12, but the pen that I've been using is a Kuretake number 13. And I just got it off the internet. I don't know, I don't get out. There's not very many art stores in my neck of the woods that are close to me. So I just typically order that stuff off the internet. But now what I'm using is my Deleter Black. That's the ink that I use for these solid shapes and things like that, where I'm just filling in dark blacks. And then I'll use like either a Winsor Newton Series 7 brush. That's what this one is here. I think this is a number 2, maybe 1 or 2, just to fill in the blacks. I've got one that's a little bigger than that too, but a lot of times I'll use like I still, as much as I do like that Kuretake brush, I still kind of prefer using the brushes. But because this is a challenge, and because you got to get one of these out every day, I'm trying to kind of speed up that process, because there's so many other things going on, and it is a challenge. And I think this may be only the second year that I've done Inktober, but last year I did all 31 drawings. But I did another art challenge through the month of March. There's one called March of Robots. I'm a big robot fan. So that one I did a little differently. With that one, there's no stipulation on what kind of mediums you use or anything. So I used Pro White on like blue paper and tried to give it like a blueprint look, because I like the idea of the robots as sort of these blueprints. So there's a couple challenges. There's other ones out there. Of course, the one that I really got involved with, it's kind of changed a lot of, that's what built any kind of community. If you're watching this on YouTube, unless you just kind of stumbled upon it, that's where most people know me from, and that's the 100 Days of Making Comics Challenge. And that was started by Kevin Cross, and that's where you basically for 100 days you work at least 30 minutes, and that's the least you can work on. So just finding time here and there to work on your comic book. And you don't necessarily have to finish your comic book, but you have to put in those at least 30 minutes a day, hopefully more if you can do it, for 100 days in a row. And I did that, I completed that, and like I said, that kind of what helped kind of get me involved in the whole YouTube thing. And I'm still doing it. So, and I'm looking forward to get back to doing my comic book again. Whether I start 100 Days Making Comics again, I'm not sure. That kind of remains to be seen. And then there's some other, and the idea, also the idea is that you either vlog about it or blog about it. I would suggest that if you can, vlog about it, because it just seems to work a little better. It's a little hard to follow some of the people who are just blogging or just letting people know on other social media. So it's good if you are going to do the 100 days of making comics, to kind of show your process. Put out a video a day if you can. Some people will film as they go, and then they'll put a collective video out at the end of the week. But another really cool challenge. So those are the challenges I really like, and I really think it just builds good habits. I mean, if you can complete a challenge like 100 days of making comics, or Inktober for 31 days, or March of Robots, all that stuff. It's really going to bring good habits, and at the end, you're going to have all these drawings and all this, this content that you can use, or if you're selling your artwork or whatever, that you can sell. So it really, I mean, if you can do it, and there's some people that try, and it's they may not be able to complete the challenge, but what have you got to lose? If anything, if you start it and maybe things don't work out, you still got some drawings. But I'm a big advocate to try to start that. Give it your all, push forward, and if you complete the challenge, it really is. It just gives you a big sense of accomplishment. So I really dig these challenges, and I like. Because I'm sort of, my background is kind of comic book art. Just ink is just sort of a natural medium for me. So I really do like these, and I like figuring out, trying to tap into these different prompts and things like that. So, and there's some fun ones on there, and I've got, the wheels of my head are turning, trying to come up with different ideas for some of these, and I've got some good ones coming up. And some of these are better than others, and and try not to get too discouraged when you see what other people are posting. I mean, I just kind of, I wouldn't say this is like my best work. For me, it's just sketches. It's to get something out there, find a little time during the day, do ink sketches. Again, some of them I like better than others, but man, if you look some of the stuff that's out there, I've been following. I don't know if any of you guys follow Creature Box, but they just take the Inktober thing to another level, and I'm anxious to see if they can keep it up, because they don't just do solid ink like I do. They're doing like these ink washes with different color inks and things like that, and just masterful. Really cool if you want to check out what Creature Box is doing. But there's just so much imagination, and the one thing I do like, and it seems like a lot of people are taking this opportunity to do kind of original artwork. There are some people, that are doing Inktober and doing fan art, and that's cool and everything. But to me, it's always cool to see people's own original ideas. And I think you see, for whatever reason, I don't know why, but you tend to see a lot of people, coming up with their original ideas for their ink drawings for Inktober. So, yeah, it's so if you and even if you're just finding out about this now, you can kind of, I don't think there's a problem with jumping in a little late, and then if you have a little extra time, maybe make up those couple 2 or 3 days that you might have missed. But yeah, I would really advocate everyone take some kind of challenge, and if you really want to do something crazy, take it to the next level. Try it. Maybe start your own challenge. If you got an idea for a challenge, and I've been thinking of some different challenges that I can start, because when I said before about that this helps kind of build community, and then it also just by way of people viewing the different hashtags, bringing people to to check out my work. Just imagine how it is for like Jake Parker, who started this. I mean, I hate to use the word exposure because it's got such a bad connotation to it, but it does really, it's really kind of building up his brand, and pretty much anyone who does one of these videos like I do, they mention the guy, and in turn he gets, and he's got a huge followership from this and from this other thing, Art Drop Day, and just the stuff he does in general, which is pretty cool. But so I'm trying to think of a challenge, but there's so many of them out there. It's got to be to me, it's got to be something that really got some legs and something that I think that might catch on. And I don't know that I've quite come up with that yet, but I'm always thinking about it. So so yeah, I tend to take a challenge like this, and you know, there's other challenges out there too. Like there's some silly ones like 3 marker challenge and your eyes closed challenge, or just the cheat tool challenge, like using Crayola markers or whatever. I don't know how challenging those are actually, but they're fun to do. And just like these, I think if you do those, you know, you put a video out with like the 3 marker challenge, people do search that stuff, so, and you can kind of piggyback off of what other people are doing. So sometimes that can kind of help you build an audience too. So that kind of stuff doesn't happen. But I'm really talking about like the serious challenges, because I think I think, you know, somebody like me who, you know, I draw all the time, but it's not always for me to just find some time in the day to do something like this. I really enjoy it, and I want to hopefully, you know, hopefully I'll complete this without a problem. I'm in a little different situation than I was last year. I've got, you know, a full-time gig that I'm doing, so hopefully I'll squeeze it in. But I'm gonna try not to make any excuses and get these out. So keep watching, and you'll see more of this stuff from me. But yeah, really seriously, guys, think about taking an art challenge, because it's a lot of fun, and you're gonna, you know, you're really gonna have something cool at the end of that challenge if you're able to complete it. So anyway, you guys, if you have any questions or anything like that, leave comments, suggestions, whatever. If you have ideas, things you want me to draw, whatever. Or what are you guys doing for Inktober? Let me know, and I'll see you guys later. That is all.